Disclaimer, I do not dislike CinemaSins, and that is not a lie. For this Everything Wrong with CinemaSins video, I am going to be sending their video on Coraline.
After the first minute of this thing, you should have your parent card revoked. I'm not saying some little kids wouldn't be into this, but I am saying those little kids would either grow up to be psychopaths and or Apple Store employees.
Pretty sure they'd just get scared and never want to see the movie again.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think your new house may have a squatter.
That's just one of Mr. Bobinski's ways of stretching.
It's good to see.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Good to see Madame de la Grande Bouche is still getting work these days, but this bit part is a waste of her immense talents. She doesn't even get to sing.
Jeremy says something random cliche.
Why does this cat have no butthole? Everything else about this part of the movie is pretty realistically animated, so the lack of a butthole is tripping me out almost as much as it did in the cat's.
You always complain about buttholes being shown, so I guess the filmmakers were smart enough not to include it.
Damn, look at this landscape. It's got this. I'm just waiting for Coraline to start busting out. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween. Halloween.
Just because this and Nightmare Before Christmas are by the same director, it does not make that a sin of this one.
I know they just got here and that this is supposed to be a grungy, gothy movie, but what's up with this kitchen? Could they not have wiped down the cabinets? Or at least the sink? It looks like this apartment was previously used as a meth lab.
That's supposed to represent how dull and boring Coraline's new home is. If it's in your own home, it's not littering, just making a mess.
Well, did you knock first? They may just be finishing up.
The door was open, and knocking doesn't apply to shower curtains.
Hey, what's with all this filthy water? I thought she just moved out of Michigan.
Again, it's supposed to represent the dullness of the new home.
Anders, Coraline.
Pointing things out on the screen. Also,
triple exclamation pointing a word before the end of a sentence.
Pointing things out on the screen again.
No!
This motherfucker is an experienced author, and it's the late aughts. Doesn't he know this shit's auto-saved? Or even if it's an old computer and doesn't have that option, he should still know to hit Control-S obsessively like the rest of us. And also, settle down, man. You had 3 lame paragraphs written on composting and your composition was atrocious. She did you a favor.
Have you ever made a mistake and all your work doesn't get saved? Trust me, Jer, it's frustrating.
Snow globes.
Pointing things out on the screen. Again.
Will you stop pestering me if I do this for you?
Thing my college girlfriend said to me when I brought home a watermelon, a paper shredder, and a pool.
Jeremy says something random cliche.
Coraline is peculiar, but any tween that's awoken from a deep sleep by a rogue rodent would be screaming at the top of her lungs right now.
You said it yourself. Coraline is peculiar, so of course she'll want to follow the mouse. So this is an instance of use in characterization.
There is actually performing a They Might Be Giants song here that was written specifically for the movie. It's awesome. And while that might usually be a sin-off, it turns out They Might Be Giants was originally going to do the entire soundtrack for the movie, but everything else was eliminated because of creative differences. So, creative people and the differences they wrote in on.
Jeremy says something random cliche.
Any requests? Mango milkshake?
Mango milkshake? Mango milkshake? What kind of an abomination is a mango fucking milkshake? And why would a kid with very simplistic tastes even think to request this wretched beverage?
Well, a mango milkshake is a very popular beverage, so I can see why she'd pick it.
So you're getting your every desire here. I wouldn't blame Coraline if she actually decided to stay. Not like she even has to pull a cipher and sell anyone out.
But you are aware that the whole thing is a trap, right?
Chicken, baby!
Little known fact, Hasbro pulled their catcall line of talking stuffed alien toys in 2010. To this day, no one knows why.
Jeremy says something random cliche.
We're already here, Coraline.
Gone to Oregon?
So the adults are creepy and secretive, the food appears out of nowhere, and the photos talk to you. Did Coraline just apparate into Hogwarts?
Jeremy says something random again.
By that Coraline has blue hair because she's a tween that would totally do that, and her real parents look pretty normal, as does Wybie, but nobody bats an eye that this motherfucker is blue. He looks like he's been dipped into a bad batch of Easter egg dye.
The filmmaker said that Mr. Bobinski is blue because he's out in the cold a lot.
Here, have beat, make you strong.
Prematurely dropping the beat.
How is you pointing things out on the screen a sin for this film?
So, beats.
See what I previously said.
Last night, Coraline was super suspicious of the other parents and didn't even want to eat or play games. So why is she all jazzed up to go back into the hobbit hole?
2 things. Coraline did eat the previous night and she wants to go back because her other parents seem to be more caring to her.
Aw, those man-eating tulips are just totes and orbs.
So where's the sin removal?
Hop on, kiddo. I want to show you something.
Yo, even if he looks kinda like your dad, do not follow this instruction from a complete...
Well, he's on Coraline's side, not the other mother's.
Holy shit, they've obviously stumbled upon Kevin McAllister's house in this alternate universe. Run, kids!
Jeremy says something random cliche.
Mice, even button world fantasy ones, can't play trumpets. They simply don't have the embouchure for it.
This ain't our reality, Mr. What's the difference? How long will it be till you get the difference?
Your school might be fun.
With those stupid uniforms?
Yeah, if there's one thing that grinds my gears about school, it's when I don't like the uniforms. I tell you, they could have a bunch of Dolores Umbridge teachers as long as they let us wear attractive jumpsuits.
Jeremy says something random, cliche.
You're the same cat. How can you talk?
I just can.
Oh.
I was worried you were going to say something disrespectful about Keith David again, like in the Princess and the Frog video, but I'm not going to remove a sin.
Isle of Dogs.
Jeremy says something random, cliche.
I'm not saying Mrs. Jones wasn't animated in proper proportions to a regular mom, but I am saying the animators may have gotten some inspiration from the dimensions of Elastigirl from The Incredibles.
Jeremy says something random, again.
How can you walk away from something and still come back to it?
Neil Gaiman's The Matrix.
Jeremy says something random, again.
Locked us here and ate up our lives.
Holy man, and I thought Artax biting it in the Neverending Story was harsh on a young audience. This is scaring the hell out of me.
Pretty sure Coraline is more for older audiences.
How is 100-year-old candy gonna help?
First of all, this candy was labeled as 1921, so at the time of the movie, it's not even 90 yet. And rounding numbers up is for the weak-minded, Coraline. My mom must have told me that 1,000 times.
Ever heard of exaggeration? Coraline was doing that because the taffy is super hard.
How would you even begin to know how old the candy is? Are you telling me you could read those tiny labels from across the room, around Miriam's proportions?
It's just as I said. The taffy is super hard.
Seriously, these assholes may have been kidnapped, maimed, or murdered while you were over in Fantasyland. You really don't want to call around, like, the area hospitals or anything?
In the book this movie is based on, Coraline actually does call the police, so it's not like they forgot about that.
Hell, you got the ability to write legible sentences. How's about providing a little more information about how you got here, you know?
Probably because the image would have faded before she finished writing.
Pretty sure this means 7 years of bad career choices. Unfortunately, you're going to have to do a few Twilights, a Ewan McGregor passion project, and a Richard Gere film. But the upside is that you eventually get to work with Tarantino.
Jeremy says something random, cliche.
Bless you, miss. You found me.
Why isn't the Beldam stepping in to make this at least a little more difficult? That bitch is evil, but she's all about fair play when it comes to games?
First, what kind of punctuation is that? Second, it was easy because the other father is on Coraline's side.
Maybe a stupid question, but why does everything in this other world turn into a nightmarish version of itself the longer Coraline is here? The Beldam is shown to be able to make and appear like anything she wants, so why would they change it all?
Because Coraline now knows the true nature of the other world. Isn't it obvious?
Is this the official timer for the game? Did they agree on a time limit at all? And how would Coraline know that's the case? Sure, it's a cool visual, but one f***ing line of dialogue would clear this shit up.
Yes, it is a timer, and while they never talked about a time limit, it's a button because Coraline agreed to have button eyes if she lost the game.
Glad she talked this over with the cat and made sure he was definitely okay with being thrown into the ghoulish parademon to do battle.
She actually didn't, because the cat later appears at her window and is angry at her for doing that.
Oh no, you broke my favorite snow globe.
Dude, I know it's better to be with your real parents and all, but Mama Jones is still a pretty f***ing terrible person.
I don't know. There have been times in my own life my own parents have been too busy for me, but they're still great people. Also, her dad isn't any better.
Mr. B's not drunk, Mom. He's just eccentric.
This is how I explain my behavior to my wife on most Tuesday nights.
Jeremy says something random, cliche.
Emmett, why would you put the key with the hand? Sure, it's playing dead now, but you've seen the Beldam do some T-1000 shit with the remains of its body parts. Throw that stuff into the woods somewhere.
The well is the best hiding place because the other mother won't find the key there. And here's the end result, everybody. The sin total is 237, and the sentence will be button eyes. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a nice day.